guys, my name's Alec. I'm your host today. We're in the shop. We're going to be working on the truck. I have everything I need in order to start this thing. So let's get to it today. We're going to go over to the whiteboard. Alrighty, so I've only been here a couple minutes, but I did a little reorganizing of the whiteboard to try and clear my head, clear my thoughts, and get us on target. So I have a list here, and this is everything the truck needs to start and idle on its own. Sure, I could flash a tune right now. I could pop it off for 2 seconds, and I could turn it back off and probably be fine. But this is everything in this list that needs to get done for me to start it and for it to sit there and idle for as long as I want it to without having to worry about anything going on. So we got plug wires for it. We have everything to hook up the cooling system. We need to make the transmission cooler for it. We need to fill the transmission with fluid. We need to figure out the clamps on the radiator hose, which I did order, and they're here. We have a power steering hose. We got the turbo bolts to bolt that down. We have a new map sensor. We have a new intake air temperature sensor and a pigtail, and we need to flash a tune. So let's get to it. We're going to start working, see how much of this stuff we can knock out in the next couple hours. And for anyone joining me for the first time, this is my 05 GMC Sierra. It originally was a V8 four-wheel drive regular cab short bed. It still is a regular cab short bed. It's now a 6-liter. It's got forged pistons. We got a big turbo hanging off the front of it. 4L80, all-wheel drive all the time with a Silverado SS transfer case. And this thing's gonna be a beast once it's done. So if you could, leave me a like if you like the video, and I'd really appreciate the support with some subscriptions. I've got some awesome watch hours. You guys are really liking the videos. I just don't have the subscribers to get to where I want to be. So I'd really appreciate the support. We're going to get to work. Alrighty guys, so this is the hardware that I decided to go with. This is an M10 by 35 millimeter bolt. It's 1.5 pitch, which doesn't necessarily matter, but it's got a nice flange on the top of it. And then I decided to go with a lock nut on the bottom, but it's one of the ones that has the interference threads to lock it on. And this is also flanged. So of course the threads line up M10 by 1.5, and it looks really nice on there. I don't know if the zinc coating is going to hold up to the heat, but they are grade 10.9, so the tensile strength on them is pretty good. And you can see they're all going in with the heads or the bolts facing down, except that one back in there underneath the center section. That one's got to come up from the bottom. So getting these tightened down, I'm going to Google the torque that I should have these at for the bolt size, and we'll get that crossed off the list. Alrighty, so we got the bolts tightened down for the turbocharger flange. I ended up tightening them to 40 Newton meters, which the max torque on 10.9s is between 60 and 80 Newton meters. So I did 40 for now. It's pretty dang tight on there, pretty good. If I ever got to tighten them up again, the flange gaskets are not that expensive. Moved on and tried to put in our new map sensor. This is the one my tuner sent me the part number for, and clearly you can see not only is there a difference between the outsides, but also the connectors are different. And he didn't necessarily tell me that A, this wasn't going to work, and B, I need to put a different connector on it. So I reached out to him. I doubt I'll get a response today and be able to remedy this today, which is unfortunate. We're going to go back to the whiteboard and do a little regrouping and see what we need to do next, because I also ran into a problem where I ordered 1/2 inch heater hose and 3/4 inch heater hose, and I needed 5/8 instead of 1/2 inch because the 1/2 inch will not go onto the left water pump nipple for the heater core. So I'm just kind of running into all sorts of snags. I'm going to see what is on the whiteboard that I should focus on next. All right, over here at the whiteboard, I just crossed off or erased the coolant hose clamps for the filler neck. So just got that done. I can take turbo bolts off of there, and I guess next we'll move on to probably a power steering hose and then put the plug wires on the truck. Here I am starting on that power steering hose. I was getting the O-rings out of the kit and getting them mounted on the hose. This is kind of a pain in the butt job to do with the fender on and the header on and all that stuff. I ended up making it work and getting it, but I'm turning the wrench like an eighth of a turn at a time, it seems like. So it just took quite a bit of time, was a little, time consuming. But we got it done, and everything is all sealed up with the power steering pump. And then after I got that all tightened down and mounted, I moved on to the plug wires. And unfortunately, the back one went on awesome. I was thinking to myself, man, these things are sweet. They look cool. And then I went to go put the second one on. And as soon as I started to slide it on, it made a click. And I'm like, dang, that went on easy. And then I looked down, and that was the broken one out of the kit that I didn't notice. Alrighty, so checking back in with you, we got the power steering line all tightened down, and it is in its home. So here it is right here. Got it in the back of the pump, got it in the steering gear. Everything's bueno there. I went to go put in my plug wires, and this side went in perfect. The headers fit some, they're the SL or ACell 9000 ceramics. Didn't really intend for them to be white, but they fit nice and they kind of match in there. So I'm kind of happy with that, I guess. And then I get over to this side, which I did ask on performancetrucks.net Facebook group, who's used what plug wires with the On3 turbo manifold. And everyone said 45 degree or 135 degree plug wires. And so I bought them, and they do not fit. So unfortunately, this one showed up to me cracked. It had like a hairline crack in it, and of course when I pushed on it, it broke. So I don't know if a cell will replace it. I don't even know if that's crucial for it to not be cracked or not. But it's on there for now. It's pretty easy to take off. I guess I'm just gonna have to call them and see what they think about it. And then the back one, or the third one from the third out of the fourth one, this guy will not even go in there. So I'm either gonna have to make a custom wire for it or maybe get a 45 to fit on it. Not totally sure. So unfortunately, another thing that's kicking my butt today is bought the plug wires that everyone said, thought I was going to be good, and we are not good. So unfortunately, I can kind of cross that off, but it's something I got to follow up on, so I really can't cross it off. We're going to go to a whiteboard and see what we can do next. I am back at the dry erase board over here. I'm looking at what I need to do. I did cross off spark plug wires and I put it back on there because I only have 7 of 8. So for it to start, I need to figure that out. My order list is getting bigger, which I don't like because I thought I had all this handled, but we will keep pushing forward. So I think the next thing I'm going to work on is I'd like to fill up the transmission and also fill up the power steering. And I don't think I have enough fluid for both of them. I'm going to have to go get some fluid, which add to the order list, order or go get. So I think I'm going to start putting a little fluid in a couple spots, probably try power steering first. And then I think realistically, the last thing I can work on here is either the intake air temp sensor, flash a tune, or start working on the transmission cooler lines that I want to show you guys how to make. Here I am starting off on the heater hose, the 3/4 inch one, which is the front one off the water pump and thermostat housing. I was reusing the old hose barb because it was in good shape, and I think they have been replaced already, so I cut it out of the crimp on the old hose and I got it transferred over to the other hose, trimmed it up, and got her all mounted. Then I moved on after that to the mass airflow sensor, and that involved kind of cutting the wires out of the old mass airflow sensor and getting the 2 wires out for the intake air temp sensor. You can see I'm kind of working on delooming it right now and getting those out of there. So there's 5 wires in there. There's a black, pink, yellow, brown with a white line, and a black with a white line. So the brown and the black with the white line are the two that I used. I ended up de-looming it and pulling it all the way up to basically the top of the engine, and that gives you plenty of length to reuse all the factory wires and actually cut some of that off. If your intake air temp sensor is located somewhere around the front of the truck by the radiator. So that's what I ended up doing. I reloomed it all, got it all electrical taped up, and then I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with the 3 wires left over from the MAF. I'll probably just figure out somewhere to tuck them and kind of cover them up because I'm not sure if I'll ever need them again. Alrighty, well, let's start working on the intake air temp sensor wiring, and want to do it clean, want to do it right, want it to look nice. So I ended up pulling it out of the mass airflow sensor plug and pulling all the wire loom out. You can see here's our black and white wire, and here's our tan wire, and so that would be the second from the left and the middle, or the third from the left. I cut those off right there, and we don't need that plug anymore. I'm just gonna wrap it up with some electrical tape and stick it somewhere else, but then start chasing this wire where the pink wires go into, de-loom it, pull all the electrical tape out of there, and eventually you'll get your wires back here. Now, if you choose to, you can get those wires to go even further up in the harness to make it even cleaner. I'm okay with them being on the outside of the harness. I'll put a little wire loom on them, and I'm okay with that because I don't necessarily think that they'll show that bad underneath the cover. So I'm just going to kind of stick them along that right there. And then for my intercooler piping, the ambient air sensor, or the intake air temp sensor, is kind of by the alternator right there, by the bend in the coolant hose. So I got enough wire now, and we're gonna eventually put the pigtail on there and get the intake air temp sensor located and put in where it's supposed to. We're running into all kinds of snags today. It's just one of those days. We plugged into the truck. It was going to be kind of one of the last things I wanted to do today because I want to go get some of the stuff that I need to get to keep working tomorrow. And plugged into the truck, got the tune loaded up, and my credits are not on there, which I'm pretty sure my tuner Tyler put credits on it for me. So something's not right here. I'm gonna have to reach out to him, but unfortunately, just another snag we ran into, and we're not gonna be able to flash it today. All right, well, you're kind of looking at what it looks like to be defeated right here. Spent quite a bit of time out here and did not get nearly as much as I wanted to get done. Like I've mentioned to you guys before, it's usually just a mad game of trying to find the next snag. And I thought I had it planned out good enough today that I was gonna, make substantial progress and not run into too many snags. And here we are. I need to put my red nose on and the, rainbow hair because I'm looking like a clown. But we'll keep tackling some of the stuff that, is throwing up hurdles, and keep jumping over the hurdles, I should say. And we'll come back and we'll keep working on it. So I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I know it's not as much progress as you probably wanted to see. I'm a little bummed about it, but we just gotta keep pushing through and keep working on it. So I'm gonna go run to the store and try and get some of the stuff over here that's on my list, and we'll come back tomorrow, try and make some good headway on some of the stuff on our to-do list here. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.